Good evening to you all. As you can tell, I've got the one, the only, probably the laziest man on YouTube, Liam from Traveling Brews.
Thanks very much. Cheers. You're lucky I'm even here.
It was very late in the day when Liam was like, I think I'll be on. Yeah. I'll just go through a couple of comments and then. Buddy said Luke John's already passed out on the toilet. Whiskey Wednesday can go wrong so fast. I'm here. I'm not passed out yet.
I didn't get the memo, Whiskey Wednesday, even though I did mention it to you like a week ago, didn't I?
You did, yeah. This was actually your doing, mate. This was your plan, not actual mine.
Well,
so
I'm going to start easier. I might go in a whiskey after. I think I'm going to have a session beer to begin with.
Why not? Escobar. Hello, Thomas. Good evening, sir.
Going through everyone here. So what have you been up to then, Luke? Planning this trip?
Planning this trip and then planning and then replanning and then replanning the replan. Does that make sense?
It makes so much sense. I'm gonna, I'll be honest and say, do you know what? I've left it all to you. I normally get involved in like all the travel details. It actually feels quite stress-free to leave it to someone else to do. So yeah, cheers. Thanks.
Well, on my end, I've actually started to develop a grey wig with the stress. If anyone's ever dealt with Calmac ferries in Scotland, they'll understand. Good evening, Martine, fruit from afar. Good evening, Jim. Welcome, mate. Greetings from America. Indeed. This trip and tonight is basically just a chat about what we want to get out of it and let people know that follow us what's coming up. And what do we expect out of it, basically? It's kind of a strange thing that we're doing, and not in strange as in drinking whiskey, but strange in the type of whiskey. Liam is a peat monster. He loves the peaty whiskey. Me, not so much. I'm treating this as like a full learning experience, and I kind of want to do it justice as someone that doesn't really drink peated whiskey, to give like a beginner's guide to them whiskies.
There'll be non-peated along the way if you want as well. There's plenty of non-peated ones.
There is, but I think when you go to the Isle of Islay, you've got to drink peated whiskey.
Yeah, but they do ones that aren't so peated, and they also, well, when we're there, there's going to be bars with huge ranges of whiskies, and I know you're going to probably be tempted to try some that are either limited edition runs rather than buying the whole bottle. Try a dram of it. There's so many options out there. I mean, it's difficult to find the menus online, but I sent you a link to one of them, didn't I? I don't know how up to date their list was, but they've got quite a lot.
So that was a 2019 list.
Yeah, it's the closest I could find. It means they could have something completely different now, but it gives an idea, doesn't it?
Good evening, Sharky. Good evening, Mick T.
I'm having a
whoever that bloke is. Flavius Stunt Manius.
He should know what this is. This is a beer. It's not whiskey, mate. It's a beer.
Well, I'm not going to let Liam's idea and purpose of this stream tonight go to waste. So I've just got the bottle of Dalmore.
I'm going to join you. You know that 10 minutes I joined you, I wolfed down some food in those 10 minutes. So I wolfed down food. I thought I'll get a small session pale ale in, and then I'm going to look in the cupboard. I was trying to look and find my bottle of smoked and non-smoked Indian whiskey, but I can't find it. I don't know where I've put them. I've got 2 bottles.
Yeah, you probably sent them back, no, you mate. Got the money. Got the money back.
I bought 3 bottles, I know, and I gave one to my mate. I kept the other 2 myself, obviously. But yeah, I don't know where they are. I emptied my little whiskey storage area. Couldn't find it.
Yeah. Well, I've been looking today. So the funny thing is, I've been on all the websites today, and because what they do is on the 2nd of April, they add extra tours and tastings to the websites.
Because they're judging demand, aren't they? What they're doing is they release the schedule, which is they're assuming this isn't peak, this is the start of the season, but they're seeing how busy it is because you could have a lot more Americans coming over, doing trips at that time. So they definitely, add in for the demand, don't they?
Yeah, and what's happening as well up on Isla this year is both ports on the island undergoing a lot of work. So there's going to be a big chunk of the summer where there's very limited ferries. The whiskey industry on the island.
Do you say both of the ports?
Yeah. So the Fish Isle, the big whiskey festival on Isla every year, they have just got word that, well, we will add an extra ferry on to those that are scheduled for that festival. But originally they took away the service, and they're like, how can you do that? This 1 week is like our entire year of income in this 1 week. And they were just like, well, works need to happen, and
I like that
we're going to do them at the same time.
They reduce the schedule by 1, and they make out they're being nice by chucking 1 back on. You're just back to where you were. Yeah. Oh, we've given you an extra service. What are you on about?
Yeah. Yeah. So they're kind of like, hold on a minute. I'll just get
something odd. Us. I see
the
Jackman's
little one's shouting at me for some reason. Just a second.
He's in trouble. It is Whiskey Wednesday. I am going to partake in the whiskey soon, but I did pick this up from Sainsbury's. Their 3.4% session ale, which is made by Badger. So I got it in the Badger glass. Don't think you can even see that, but there you go. Just something easy to start with, and then I'm going to go in and pick out a whiskey or 2 and partake in Whiskey Wednesday. Who's got whiskey in the chat? Anyone else got whiskey? Ooh. Do you have ice with the whiskey, Shark? I mean, if it's single malt, not really. No, I wouldn't do that. Who's shouting at you? What are you in trouble for? What are you doing online?
No, they've got me a pizza, and I'm like, I told you I was doing a live stream.
Did you wolf it down like I did mine quickly?
I haven't had a chance yet, mate. I really have not.
I went to all this effort. I shouldn't have shaved. I shaved just before your stream. I shouldn't have shaved. I could have come in with just not as long as beard as yours, but very bushy ginger with some grey patch on it. But shaved it off. Sorry, man.
Mine will be much smarter and neater.
You're gonna get it clipped.
I'm on a Dalmore, so Dalmore 15-year-old.
And the Dalmore glass, as usual, is that?
And the Dalmore glass. Of
Yeah,
course, it's in use. Of course, it's in use. I'm not a snob.
I'm stealing that, by the way. When I come by, I'm going to nick it.
I'm going to lock it in a cage.
No, I'll make you get it out for whiskey drinking, and then I'll steal it.
Well, the good thing is, all of these tours that we have, well, not tours, but tastings, I've ditched the tours, mate. I'm kind of, if you want to do like the odd tour, for like your channel,
No.
then
See, with the tours, the idea is that if you do one, you sort of done them all. Sometimes you would do a different tour. So if you do a tour on Isla, you may do a tour not on Isla, i.e. they talk about how they smoke it, and other places how they, it's not smoked or rest. But really, most of the tours are all the same. You don't really get to see much. It would just be one of the interesting ones where if we get to see a tour where they've got amazing view over the water rather than, the more modern ones. But I'm not fussed. It's all about more the whiskey tasting, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of been looking to do it. So Annandale, which is our first point of call.
You've got a tour there, haven't
you? Yeah. I've already got a table booked at the cafe as well beforehand. So we'd be able to down some Scottish breakfast and haggis and sausage and stuff like that. All the good stuff. Before all the good stuff. And that's £25 for a tour and a tasting. Now, what I'll do is I'll send Stephen our cameraman on the tour. Gives us time to, focus on the tasting bit, and we get 5 drams with that.
5 drams, that's nice.
5 drams. So 5 drams, he can get some stuff for YouTube and the daily vlog and stuff. Because I'll be doing the daily vlog each day. But that won't come out until I get back, because you've got to edit it. I'm not going to spend all my time away editing, so.
and live streaming, and you've got to sort out a schedule at this stage. Wake up, vlog.
Well, what I've done is I've seen on the island that most things close around tea time, which frees up every night.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying we go live every night, but I reckon we'll probably be going live every night.
Depends. So, first night, where are we staying again? We're not, because we're making our way towards Ireland. We're staying just shy of the ferry, aren't we?
Yeah, so we're staying in Tarbet. Robert de Bruce's castle, not far from us. But we're in glamping pods, so we've kind of got the luxury of, it's not really glamping, it's basically 2 beds in a shed with a telly and a fridge.
But I'm just thinking that first night, it's a bit of a distance, isn't it? We've got a long drive. You're talking about potentially stopping in Glasgow on the way as well?
Well, Glasgow we're going to hit on the way back. We're going to stop in Glasgow
on the way back. Okay, so on the way there, we'll go past Loch Lomond, potential to pick up beers from 1 or 2 of the breweries along the way, if we wanted to, and then get to our site. Same beds? Yeah, of course, Jagman.
Yeah. Basically, it's literally just a couple of sheds with a few beds in. Jaggers, Hennes, just I know I'm not really looking too much. But I kind of know when somebody's put something in chat that's worth mentioning, because Liam has a little chuckle to himself.
Yeah. You got
like we've done this before.
Irish coffee, not really so much. Do you have Irish coffee at all?
No.
See, if I'm gonna have whiskey with something, it'll be more like a hot toddy, and that's if you're, slightly unwell or something at that stage. Hot toddy goes well, doesn't overpower everything. Whereas with the coffee, I just don't think it always suits.
Yeah. Thank you. Bunk beds, Jagman.
Jagman, you're on top. You're on top, Jagman.
Jagman's always on top.
Yeah, I thought you were coming with us as well.
Yeah. So the first night we're in glamping pods. And to be honest, the reason why I chose Glamping Pods is because I thought just extra content for the first day vlog.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, little look around the campsite that we're on. There's a cafe there that's open until 3 or 4
PM.
both the Saturday and Sunday. And they sell, it says, now all it says is pints of beer for £3.50. Now, I know what beer it is because it's the cheapest thing in Scotland. It's going to be Tennent's, isn't it?
It could be even worse. It could be the sweet stout that they have that comes in at like 1.7%. That would be utterly depressing to get. But
isn't that Carlin?
No. Carlin's at least near. No, it's doubled probably only just now, isn't it?
So Escobar's asked, maybe a stupid question. What is a hot toddy?
I was going to sneeze there, I felt, for a minute. Hot toddy. It depends on how people want to make it, but hot toddy is normally, if you're not feeling well, you get a shot or 2 of your favourite whiskey, hot water, add in some cloves, and people do add in other bits, but I just tend to keep it basic with some cloves, hot water, and whiskey. And then that's it. It brightens you up, perks you up a bit, clears that cold out of the way.
It's kind of that perfect winter warmer, isn't it, basically?
It is. It's generally, if you've got a cold or say you've just come a long distance and you've travelled on a coach or something really cold and you get out, get a hot toddy to warm you up and then jump into it.
I shall put that to the test, Joey. Liam gets you in places for free.
Scotland, you're going to have to do the translations, mate. You're going to have to do the translations up there. They won't understand me.
Luckily, I'm halfway there, so I'm going to be totally fine with the accent.
You're going through all. I'm not been reading it. I'm just waiting for it to come up on the screen now. Yeah. A hot beer. Yeah, I've heard of that. I've heard of it. I would try it. I think actually, yeah. In Bristol this year, they had mulled wine and had mulled beer they were selling as well. So I've seen mulled cider and mulled wine, but never mulled beer before. So that's probably what they were pushing. I didn't try it though. I too many breweries out there to try before going for something that's just interesting.
In the Czech Republic, they call it grog. So if you go around the Czech Republic and on their menu, it just says grog. And it does sound gross, but it's the same thing. It's a hot beer with the spices. It turns out, after about a dozen of them, you can get extremely pissed on it.
You would, yeah, it's still beer.
I did market and research one year. Bloody hell. Good job I never had a YouTube channel about 10 years ago.
Me going internet.
It's probably me a bit. Then again, I pop. Yeah, so I've got, Annandale's the first one. Now, on the Sunday, we haven't got much planned on the Sunday. So I'm kind of thinking a little bit of like a sightseeing day. We're actually only 15 minutes away from the ferry over to Giga. Now, there's not much on Giga. However, there's a beach with a palm tree on it.
One palm tree.
One palm tree.
Yeah. Luke, I had a look ahead at the Met Office 2-week forecast. Doesn't sound good, especially if you wanted to look at a beach with a palm tree. It's going to be terrible, is all I can say.
Yeah, but it'll also be good because it's freezing cold in Scotland, stood on a beach in icy temperatures with a palm tree behind you. What could be more invigorating in life than that?
Pissing down with rain, the wind blowing at you, and it's just going to be a sad, depressing picture of you stood under a palm tree, blowing in the wind with the rain coming down on you. Oh, I mean, yeah.
I mean, if anyone thinks I'm slightly disappointed by the bad weather we're going to have when we're away, I'm not. Lee wanted to go on a 5.5 mile trike. I'm totally fine to sit in a bar and drink.
You don't want to do that then, no?
Well, I'm sending cameraman with you.
All right, yeah.
So what I was thinking is I could do a cooking video.
While I go off and do a walk, yeah?
Yeah,
all right.
I'll be like the granny of the family.
The unfortunate thing is there's not like a bar or anything at the end waiting for me. It's a walk there and then back to the car park again. So there's not any pressure. If you're not coming, I might just turn around and go, oh, you just do it, Steve. I'm good. I'll stay here.
Cameraman's got some walking to do this holiday. But it's why we're taking him. No,
I'll be up for a walk. If it's like, I say it all depends on, it's supposed to be rainy weather, quite windy. Let's hold out hope and hope that it isn't like that every day.
It looks like Wednesday's the best day on the island.
I wouldn't trust. I'm not trusting anything the same days at the moment. I'm just assuming they're saying it's rain and wind. Right, I'm going to go pick up a whiskey. So I'll be back in a sec.
Go and get a whiskey.
And the group shower, is that what it means? I hope not.
It's a collaboration through a whiskey shower. You got to try everything once, I suppose. Maybe a bit both. Well, it won't be a bath in someone's palace. Moving on. I think it was, yeah, Jim. Still very popular in Prague, especially around the old town. Palm tree, yeah. Question: who's going to slur their words more between Luke, John, and Liam during the lives next week? Oh, I'm taking that one, Sharky. I'm taking that one. I still can't eat a regular meal yet, so yeah, I'll take that one. Using the Yorkshire Purity law. Yeah. One lone palm tree, it is. Blowing in the wind. Could be blown off somehow in Scotland. We're in Giga, Scotland. Even Giga just sounds exotic, doesn't it? Giga sounds as if it could be like in the archipelago or something like that. You know, it's like
how the Scottish pronouncing it though? How the Scottish pronouncing it? Giga.
Giga. Yeah, it's where Gigabyte came from. No, it's Giga, or sometimes pronounced Giga. But I don't know. I'm not Scottish. I've got enough with Kalila and Lagavulin and Kilorman and Bonahaven and Brooklady.
Yeah. Brooklady's the one. Every time I see it, I'm like,
Bruce lady.
Join in with vodka. It's close
Vodka's
to whiskey.
good.
Yeah, I don't think Luke's allowed to touch this palm tree. It's protected.
Just imagine the one person that planted that all those years ago that thought, I know what would be a great idea. I'm going to plant a palm tree on an island in the middle of the Bute and Argyll because that's where it deserves it. That's like the pissed off cousin that you've sent away, isn't it? You know, it's like expelled from the palm tree world. It's like, you're not good for us, mate. You just go over there and fester for a few years.
Oh, I still like that. Like, is it Barra? Is that how it's pronounced? That the beach is also the airport. It's the runway.
Yeah.
So when the tide is out, they double check that it's all smooth and flat, nothing on there, and then they can start landing. So I got my whiskey.
Whiskey in a glass.
It's a Macallan 12.
Ooh.
Schmoove. Well, I've got Glenfiddich after, so yeah.
Did you see that Macallan 27-year-old that went for 1.2 million?
It's fucking mental. That's mental.
I would not, especially given Macallan's history of having a lot of fake bottles on their shelves. Yeah, I definitely would not spend 1.2 million.
I mean, if they were selling it if you're buying it from the distillery itself, I would trust it. But if it's a secondhand sale, I wouldn't be interested at all. But I mean, we're talking money that none of us are ever gonna, I don't think ever get around to. But and if you did, you'd be like, I can't touch this bottle. I want to open it, but I can't.
This is the thing with whiskey, though. So people will spend crazy amounts of money on a bottle. Now, I'd be a stupid one to spend a load of money and think, I'm going to open that just to see what it tastes like. Is it really worth 1.2 million? I mean, we all know it's not really worth 1.2 million.
Look at it this way. Someone has bought that for 1.2 million. They're going to open it, drink it, refill it, and sell it on for 1.5 million. That's how good it's going to be.
Yeah, it
all works out.
I mean, some of these more expensive ones, so even if you say like an £800 bottle, £800, it's not out the great realms of people having one on the shelf. You know what? Sometimes I think the most expensive bottles are worse than the standard aged bottles, because sometimes they just go downhill. But the distillery will put it in a bottle anyway and mark it as a high price or high value, knowing that they won't get drunk.
After I think our last stream, Mersey sent me a link, and it was to an old bottle of Bell's that was selling for quite a few £1,000s. And I was like, people are buying it for the bottle design, because Bell's used to do that lovely bottle design where it's like an actual sort of bell thing, isn't it? But the inside of it, no chance, because we all know Bell's is a bit basic, bland.
Yeah. I mean, not as bland. I mean, could you imagine now White & Mackay releases a 50-year-old bottle of whiskey? You know you ain't going to pay more than 100 quid for that bottle.
You're paying 100 quid for it? Fuck me.
You're not paying any more. Certainly not. But
I'm not. They have to pay me to take off their hands at that stage, mate. I'm not buying that.
Yeah.
But you said you wanted to do a tour of their distillery when we're in Glasgow. I distinctly remember you telling me that.
Did I? I probably did. Good content. The place no one's ever been before. Why? Because they are utterly shite. That's why. It's not the fact people can't get to it. It's just the fact that it's terrible.
Maybe maybe it tastes better there before they bottle it and leave it in clear glass bottles for that long. Who knows? A toucan, like Guinness toucan.
Number 9. I don't know what it is with all this number 9, but seems to be away with themselves.
Yeah, what is all these number 9s, Luke? You tell me.
I haven't got a clue, mate. I'm just sat here drinking whiskey.
STD, I think the question then would be, are you on about unique? And then on top of that, how strong is the beer?
Yeah, it would have to be a well barrel aged imperial stout at that point. I mean, looking at a kid's, bless her. Yeah, I think she had a bit of that beforehand.
Oh, jeez.
I'm not saying she's got ugly kids.
Craig's laughing. He started this number 9 stuff, didn't he?
It's not like she's got ugly kids.
There
it's
we
just
go.
She's got ugly kids.
I cut you saying number 9, and we got baked and played you saying, there we go. I haven't looked at anything at all. I've rarely been on YouTube. What a shame.
Number 9. Oh, it wasn't that a Hitler thing, was it, from Similar Stream? 9! Something like that. Isn't there a famous craft distillery in Scotland?
Most of them use local peat. I think the one that I've sort of said to you, Luke, is about Colocum. They do a certain batch, so it's not every batch. They're a small startup, and in their batch, they will use water from their reservoir at the top of the hill, grain that's been grown from the fields just beneath them, and peat that's been picked out from a farm about a mile away. And that is entirely, they're considered like local one that they make. I don't know of any other that does that, because most of the grain is imported, isn't it? They don't actually grow much on the island. Peat is, if you look, I don't think there's any trees on the island. That's what you should be looking for, a tree when we're on Isla. Try and spot a tree. Not a palm tree, just any tree at that stage. Tell me if you find one.
So the good thing with Kilhoman is, so Kilhoman was a farm before it became a distillery. A lot of the distilleries were built as a distillery, so there wasn't anything there. And what they did was they built it on the bays of the island. That's why they're all kind of idyllic and looks great in photos and stuff like that. But Kilhoman's the only one that isn't.
Up in the hills slightly. You got to go
off the main road in the middle of farmland.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it kind of shows as well in their product, to be honest. I think they've got one of the better products that I've tried.
I've got I'll bring it up with me actually. I've got a box of 4 of their small sample whiskies that I bought when I was there, and I've never opened them. And it's supposed to be, I can't even remember, I think it's supposed to be through the age. They've taken samples of whiskey from a barrel as it's going through its aging process, or I can't remember exactly what it is. I bought something. There we go. But I'll bring it up with me, because it can add it to the, drinking after at that stage. I was going to say, Henry mentioned about like Sam Smith's brewery up in Yorkshire, or I shouldn't, the Yorkshire, but yeah, just outside York, aren't they? There's a love-hate with them, isn't it? Just because the guy in charge is an absolute bugger.
So,
Mr. Smith himself, yeah.
Personally, I don't mind a pub that wants to enforce.
Oh, it's not. It's not
conversation, and
it's just him in general. So
he's a tad wee bit of a wanker.
So when there was storms and the bridge in the town got ruined in Tadcaster, Tadworth, I want to say, but it's Tadcaster. When that bridge got ruined, there was no easy way for pedestrians or people to get across from one side of town to the other. They'd have to go out onto the A road and back again. And the army wanted to put up a pedestrian bridge, a temporary installation, and it was on his land, and he said no. So he pissed off everyone in the village at that stage, because he didn't want a pedestrian footbridge set up temporarily on his land. What a stubborn cunt.
I mean, to be honest, Yorkshire folk, well, they've got no money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
There's no
I
money
think he
to
wouldn't
offer.
took any money anyways. But yeah, their beers, I like their beers.
Their pure organic lager is, I think, one of the best lagers we produce over here.
I like their fruit beers. I like their cherry one. I think that's an amazing beer of theirs. They've got their Stingo they bring out every year. That's a great one as well. That's a higher ABV. But yeah, I drink their beers, but they're not cheap in London anymore because the London ones are owned by his son, and his son runs them, but they've boosted their price up quite a bit. So they've opened up one in outside Victoria Station now. There was one a bit further, but directly opposite Victoria Station. And I think they charge, I think it was Taddy Lager I just picked up, and they were charging £5 for it. You go up to Yorkshire and you'd be looking at paying £2.60, if that, for a Taddy Lager, which is mass produced. Yeah, strawberry. Yeah, I think their fruit flavored beers are amazing. I really do. I think they're really good. And then they do some really good stronger stuff as well.
I think, is it strawberry, apricot,
raspberry, I think as well, and cherry as well. But they definitely have cherry, and I love the cherry. And another one of theirs that, I mean, it's hardly beer though, this one, but it's their double chocolate stout. It's so, oh my God, it's just so chocolatey. It's really nice. It doesn't feel like you're having a beer at that stage. But yeah, I've took you off track there with Sam Smith. Sorry, we're not going Sam Smiths. There we go.
That's fine. Joey's clearly been to Wakefield before. He likes weed that smells like old carpets. But yeah, I don't want Sammy Smith. The owner's a wee bit of a wanker, but not as much of a wanker as Wetherspoons.
Oh no, he's eccentric. He's very eccentric, isn't he? The Sam Smith dude.
Kind of like two ends of the cuntismic scale. I don't know if cuntismic is a word, but it is now. I've got a cuntismic scale.
I'm not changing glass just because it's only a Glenfiddich, but it's a Glenfiddich 15, but I haven't bothered changing it.
So I mentioned Annandale. I've mentioned Friday and Sunday. Monday morning we get the ferry over from Craig to Isla. They've changed the ports around and messed about a little bit, which kind of put us in. The original plan was to go get on the island, and then we don't get to our cottage till about 4 o'clock. That's our check-in time.
But
so the idea was
we arrived in distilleries at the bottom in the south, weren't we?
Yeah, so we were going to do Lagervullen, Lafroig, Ardbeg, and then go and check in. Because like I said, most things on the islands close by 5, 6 o'clock.
Yeah,
like even all the distilleries that they're only open during work hour.
We need to get to the co-op, pick up stuff, mate.
Yeah, I actually messaged Isla Ales.
They went out of business, didn't they?
No. What they've done is they're moving premise, but it's taken them a lot longer than what they'd hoped for. But they're still producing, and the message I got back off them yesterday was, "Oh, you can pick them up in any pub and shop on the island."
See, maybe it's been bought out or they restarted it. When I went, they just seemingly gone out of business because I went to where they were supposed to be, which was the little craft district on the way between Beaumont and the port. They weren't there.
Yeah,
I could see I could see some of their empty kegs lying there, and they just were nowhere to be seen at all. And then I couldn't find any of their beers on the island. So I'm hoping it was just something happened, a little blip, and now they've started up again. But if their beers are available, then yeah, I'm going to have to try and try them. I didn't get to last time.
If not, Crummy Beard Tom was up in Tarbert last week at some point.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And in the bottle shop within Tarbert, which is the whiskey shop, they've actually got the craft ales fridge in there as well. So
the question is though, what hours is that open? Because what time we get in there, and then what time we getting back from there? Yeah,
it should be all right. I mean, even the sun, like we've got all day Sunday as well, haven't we? We should actually get to West Tarbert after doing Annandale and a little stop off at Loch Lomond, just because kind of a rite of passage when you go that far north. We should be getting there for about 3:30.
Would we be looking? Ooh, what times? Shit, who am I thinking of? I've got to go maps.
Fine Ale?
Sorry?
Is it Fine Ales?
Yeah, Fine Ales, because they're on that huge hairpin. Yeah. What time are they open to? Because they're on that massive hairpin right there. I can always zoom in. I know where they are. Down the road. There they are. What time does it normally say? So on a Saturday, we're open till 6 p.m.
Yeah, Henry, that will become more clear on the live streams during the week we're away.
He's giving away anything. No, don't give away anything.
No, I'm leaving it at that.
No, we're not bringing any American stuff with us. I'm teasing. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll leave the Maker's Mark and the Jack Daniels to you, Joey. Because where we're going to that proper whiskey without the E. Well, I'm going to pour another glass of that Dalmore.
You're not going to?
I am.
Oh, you are? Okay.
I was just thinking because I've got the Jack Daniels single barrel. I've got the Jack Daniels bonded that is open, and the original Jack, as well as this.
And the Gentleman Jack, and
I haven't opened that one yet. But I'm thinking I might open after this one. I might open a cherry whiskey liqueur.
That's whiskey then, yeah.
And that bottle's coming away with us as well, so we'll be having a great time with that one.
I'll try and bring some stuff up. So, I mean, for me, it's a week, isn't it? It's a week and one day till I'm up at yours. So over next week, I'm in Winchester and Southampton over the next few days. Then Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm in Bristol, and then Thursday up to yours. So I'm traveling around quite a bit over the next few days.
We'll ask you when you're drunk.
I'm scared. I'm scared for this.
You kind of know when I'm drunk, Craig, because I've stopped drinking carbonated drinks, soft drinks, sparkling water. I'm still okay. So what happened on Friday was my mixer of choice to go with whiskey was a spiced pineapple rum.
That was your mixer?
So I had it as my mixer, yeah.
So that's what Shark's saying, mix whiskey and rum.
Yeah. It's
disgraceful.
Yeah. You know what though, Sharky? In my defense, it was an amazing an amazing drink. I think if I had a whiskey distillery, I'd be getting some spiced pineapple rum barrels, just to age the whiskey in.
No, his most recent comment. What the hell? What the hell? So does he accept like super chats and tips to every time he gets one? He takes a swig, and everyone's just trying to get him drunk so he can lactate. Yeah.
If that happens, we'll be doing it on the Travel On and Brews channel, and then he can get the payout of the super chats. Super chats and shit. No Russian bots on this channel, lads. Ouch. So yeah, Monday, ferry over. Now we changed, obviously, going to a different port. I checked Boonhaven and Kalila.
Because they're the three closest to the port we're coming into now, isn't it? We've got that, and then there's three there, isn't there?
Yeah, there's Ardnahoe. But we kind of want to taste the whiskey that's being produced there. Ardnahoe at the minute isn't bottling.
But are they not doing like a non-age statement from the cask sort of taste, or?
Not at the minute. There's still, from what I've read, it's pretty much Talisker.
Okay.
So, what I wanted to do, Boonhaven Kalila. Now they do tours on a Monday, but they don't do the tasting sessions on a Monday. They only do tasting sessions on a Tuesday. So
we've got to come back.
So we've got to go back up there because it just doesn't make sense to go on a tour. Just like I said, we're not going to do.
So Monday, your plan is to go to the northwest of the island, is it? Towards Kilockham and
Kilorm and Brookladdy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Wednesday we'll then do Lagavulin, Lochroy, and Ardbeg, which will be pretty a messy day, to say the least. But we do get the ferry back first thing Thursday morning, which is still from Port Ellen.
Until they move that.
Until they send something out within the next week, probably.
So for me, just a heads up, my ferry back originally was through there and it got cancelled. And then it was, they said it was just a case of first come, first serve. So just, if that was the case, just got to get there early and queue up in the not booked on this ferry ticket line. Like you've got like 9 lines and you're supposed to go into like line 7. You're supposed to know that line 7 is the one to go into. Nowhere does it tell you go into line 7. And then you just hope that there's space to chuck you in.
So on the 20th, so when we actually get back from our trip, apparently looking on the Island Notice board thing on Facebook, they've already cancelled shed loads of ferry crossings.
Is that due to the port works?
Port works, and apparently one of the ferries won't be running.
Oh, going into service. Okay.
So people aren't happy. They're kind of so. And today, this morning, Calmac Ferry's boss stood down.
Is that because of the? No, that was Sturgeon. It's to do with the purchase of the new ships that was taking forever to go through.
No, this is Calmac's CEO.
Yeah,
Drummond. Drummond's stood down this morning because of everything that's going on with Calmac.
Yeah, well, it's always been problematic, but they know they're just going to get the money from the government because it's a required service, isn't it?
Metal roof.
I love a metal roof. When it rains, you can just hear the rain just hitting on top. Lovely.
Raindrops keep falling on me too. Yep. I don't know why we both roof straight away. Discount the rest of that there sentence.
It didn't say what,
Sorry.
Steve, but there you go. I just went for the metal roof because, yeah. Ooh.
Probably whiskey.
But then, would the idea be you get something that is higher proof at that stage, or?
Yeah. So obviously vodka's made from potatoes. Hence the triple distilling. So you've got a lot of sugar that comes natural from the potato and the process. Rum is very much high in sugar. It's usually, sugar cane, isn't it? Sugar cane, banana leaves, all that type of stuff. Whiskey is kind of your best one. I know when I've done health kicks in the past, I've always been told, I'd go for a whiskey or a neat vodka instead of adding extra to it. So better friendly. Just don't put it in a creme brulee. That's
a really easy question. Go for the toilet paper for life, mate. You get bored of chicken nuggets. You wouldn't get bored of toilet paper. You need it. It's not like you're eating it.
I'm toilet paper for life. I only eat meat once a day now, so once a week. So the rest of the time it's all veggie curries for me. Cheers, Adam.
All right, no drinking from him, yeah. I would take it and then just not drive. I'd just take public transport for 3 years, and then the car's mine, isn't it?
But
because not all Ferraris have a back window, so you don't know where you're going at that stage.
To be honest, Joey, I just wouldn't take a Ferrari. Fuck it, viva la McLaren. At that stage.
But you sell the Ferrari, you buy that bottle of whiskey.
Yeah, a Macallan 27-year-old that tastes of piss water.
It's still
Stuntman Steve's tavern. I never get bored of toilet paper. Joey. Strong vegetable curry over basmati long rice. I just have the curry. I haven't had rice in a long time. I have a vegetable curry 6 nights a week. I think I've only had rice maybe twice in about 4 weeks.
Do you mix up your base then? What's your base that you're making it?
So what I do is I'll do a sagaloo, which is the spinach and potato. I'll do a chana dal, chickpeas, tomatoes, onions, garam masala, turmeric, paprika, and then I'll do a lentil dal. So I'll do the 3 different curries, and I'll have them each night. But I'll add like different spices to it and different
vegetables
and stuff
as well.
And
vegetables, mix it up. So you're creating like your own little mini thali, but you got the 3 different curry dishes at that stage, and that's nice.
Yeah, and then we do our own chapatis as well. So, which actually, the first night we're there, the Saturday night, that's going to be like our curry night. Because
I hope the glamping. If you haven't curry on the glamping place, I'm hoping there's good toilets.
It should be all right, mate. I've never had the shits from a veggie curry.
Just laughing at Mersey's comment, as you can tell.
Vegetable curry, 6 nights, which is no.
You should have done like a Christmas one, like Brussels sprouts curry, and just create seasonal variety ones.
Some people have seen my schedule of what I've got this year, and they could be Brussels sprout curries coming up in the near future.
I think STD always the worst thing is if it's, you never know if it's going to be a long drop. You never know when you go in, you go, wow, it's a long drop. But Western toilets have gained popularity quite a lot, especially with the middle class. And so even if you go to temples out there, it'll be sort of signified saying Western toilet. There'll be a symbol sort of saying, oh yeah, this is the throne that you can shit on. These are the ones where you're just going to it's over. I still remember walking into one of the temples. I was so desperate. And I walked in and I could just see the floor was full of water and there was a poo just floating past me on the floor. And I was like, I've lost the need to go. I'm good now. Thank you very much. It just retreated back inside at the sight of it all.
I remember the first time I ever went to France, and it was just at the foot of Notre Dame. There was a little restaurant on the corner, and nice little place, really smart, casual, this, that, and the other. Went in the toilet, and just that hole in the floor, it was like, what the flipping hell am I supposed to do with that? And it was like, I never experienced that. We've got toilets. And then my view of France was just like, they're still like cavemen, French people. They're still going on shitting in holes. You know, it's kind of like, and funny enough, that place, if you're going it today, still has holes in the floor. They haven't changed with the times whatsoever. But just going back to Dicky Tummy and all that with curries, when you're actually used to it, your body's used to it.
Oh,
it's when you're not used to spices and fiber and.
So when I'm out in India, the idea is that what's always I find strangest for me is the breakfast. It's a bit like in China as well. The breakfast tends to be rice based, doesn't it? So you'll have either dal from the night before with some fresh roti, or you're going to have like they've turned it into some sort of like string hopper thing that you have, and it's just weird because that's not me for a breakfast. I struggle with breakfast anyways. I don't really eat breakfast most of the time. So I know people say it's important meal. I tend to avoid it and eat lunch. Liquid lunch. No, eat lunch. But, I struggle with it, but that's the bit that I find different. Otherwise, I'm perfectly fine with, curries and having that every night and a mix of what it may be. So you have a fish curry, you have your meat curries, your veg, just all good.
And we all know that the only time Liam really struggles is through Ramadan.
No, not me. Steve. Steve. Happy Ramadan, by the way. I can't believe Mersey saying in Blackburn, but then again, some people say they like the long drops because they feel the way they are is better for their bowels, whatever. I've seen there was a comment earlier saying where was the worst like food poisoning we ever got, what country or location. For me, I never had something that's truly upset me at all in my travels, apart from when I went to Austria. I was in Slovakia before, and then I went to Austria. And then when I was in Austria, I was going out to a festival, and I picked up something at a Tesco's in Austria. And oh my God, I was dying in a festival field for 2 days. Absolutely horrible. Obviously, the toilets were disgusting by the end of the first night, but there was nothing I could do. Absolutely horrendous. And it was some stuff that I got from Tesco's because it couldn't have been anything else because I hadn't eaten at that stage. It's just crippling pain at that stage for 2 days. Hated it. But India, I've had 1 or 2 things that set me a bit loose, but nothing that's, caused the whole entire keeling over, stomach cramps and all the rest.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to having the squits and all that, kind of my worst bout was Vancouver. Been to a beer festival at English Beer, and there was a sushi bar just around the corner, and I went, and when you walk out of somewhere and you think, actually, why did we even walk there in the first place? It's kind of that thing, but even the Chinese Canadians are very, very kind and helpful, and you're just like, nah, fuck this shit, it's a dump. But it's like, well, it might be like the rustic nature they're going for, like the authentic street food style. I mean, could you imagine actually having like an Indian street food stall designed as an Indian street food? You wouldn't go to it. They'd have buffalo crapping next to the stall. They'd have 30,000 motorbikes passing you. There'll be coppers pissing in the corner. There'll be
you have speakers on the side just blaring horns at everyone the whole time. It'd be brilliant. I love that.
Yeah, you want the true, authentic market feel.
Like your Karen restaurants, the themed Karen restaurants, they should create that as well. And Adam, quickly, I think I may have had it in bought the Tesco's in Slovakia and ate it on the train all the way into Austria. So I don't know. It was something or another like that. But it was Tesco's. It was definitely Tesco's.
It's kind of like in Copenhagen, they've got Netto.
Yeah, they used to be over in the UK though, Netto. Sure. Netto used to be in the 90s. They had I remember because Tesco Value sort of copied them at that stage. They came out with like no frills, which is a very basic. Their crisps were just salted crisps with clear packets on it. And then Tesco copied and created their Tesco Value range off that. Oh, sorry, doorbell. I've got to get that.
Yeah, so Netto was kind of our Lidl and Aldi of the time. But it's still good Netto. You walk in there and you still get the cheap vibes. Obviously, you need to go Copenhagen for it, but I do miss Netto. And the other shop I miss is Quick Save, but that's going back some. Is it Quick Save and what was the other one? It'll come to me. There was another one. Went out of business. Yeah, Aldi bought all the Netto holdings. Yeah, Netto was fantastic. Then with their dogs and the yellow bags. Quick Save, yeah. Before it all got, Germanified. No, that doesn't sound right. Before the Germans took over with Aldi and Lidl, and the Austrians, and then the Greeks, and now Mr. and Mr. Singh that owns Asda.
Oh yeah,
Asda's gone downhill.
Well, Morrison's has gone downhill because the buyout from the big corporation that used all the debt, and then Asda's got bought out by the petrol station guys, and then again they've used loads of debt for it. So both of them have just gone down at that stage. Yeah, the missus has gone out for food. Well, hey, I wasn't expecting that. She's actually not been feeling well, so I didn't think she was going to go out. But yeah, But
the Mister's not feeling well and does not chance anything that Liam can cook.
I'm not cooking at that stage. No. So I picked these up earlier, and I'm tempted to give them a try. It's not whiskey, admittedly. So it's Guess the Hop from Siren. So I've got beer A, beer B, and beer C. I'm tempted, but you've got to convince me otherwise. Do I open it?
I'd just go for beer D, mate. I'd just go for beer D. Beer D.
What's beer D?
A combination of all three.
Oh, I thought you meant around your face. Beer D.
Beer D. Yeah. Dickhead. Just because you went to shave.
I shaved off, yeah. I shaved off. It would be better if I just had this beard still at that stage. What, beardy? I remember Quick Save. My funny fact about Quick Save was my mate got a job at Quick Save, and then he got told on day one of his shift they were closing down in 2 weeks' time. So he got made on his first day. I love it. It was great.
Right, I'm going to put the Dalmore away. And I'm thinking.
You're thinking.
I'm just going to pour some bonded. Not bondage. Not on my tongue.
I'm thinking I'm putting these back in the fridge because I fancy whiskey. Because it's Whiskey Wednesday, isn't it?
He's finally cottoned on, folks.
Hey, I've had 2 already, haven't I? Yeah, I've had Macallan and I've already had 2 miniatures, mate. Macallan and Glenfiddich 15. Plus my beer. No, I'm thinking I'm going to get one of my bigger bottles out and have a look. Oh, that looks... Do you know what? The colour on that looks amazing. So that's 50%.
Yeah, this is 100 proof, 50%. It's not bad. If anybody's seen my jack off, my big jack off thing that I did the other week.
Jack off, yeah.
What was even funny about that though is Jack Howard was the only one to comment in and saying, normally I'm the big jack off. And I was like, well, you said it. You said it, Jack.
I'm looking to see. I don't think I've taken. No, I've got no pictures of me with my beard. How sad is that? When I started shaving it today, I went, I should have took a picture. No, this is from 2 weeks ago. I hadn't shaved since then. That's from 2 weeks ago.
See, now people say that, I have a problem.
Can you see the grey patch as well? So I shaved that off, but I had 2 weeks of growth from there. So it's been...
To be honest though, mate, you looked a lot more Scottish in that photo than I do.
You think I should grow it to get a discount? Because when we used to go to Ireland, my dad used to make me grow my beard out as a 9-year-old.
I reckon you should have just kept that and just put like a rocky twang on everything you said. Like a gravelly voice. Make it a little bit Scottish.
Okay.
Free stuff we could have got with that. Unbelievable.
I know. I could have wore one of those stupid flat caps with extra ginger hair coming out of it. Sorry, Jim. Has anyone mistaken that guy that led the UK out of the... Is he on about Nigel Farage, as I like to call him? Because his name rhymes with garage. Farage. No. I don't give a shit about that cunt. But there we go.
Ouch. Bit tender.
He drinks at the pub. There you go. That's about it. Well, he pretends to drink at the pub, doesn't he?
He pretends to drink at the pub, yeah.
Yeah, I love it when every politician or everyone that's in a higher position or aiming to become like leader of their party goes to a pub and tries to pour a pint. Or even, did you see the recent one with Prince William pouring a pint? And it's like,
they all do it, don't they?
How how bad it. I know you guys aren't part of us. You're not part of the common culture. You've never seen anyone pour a pint in your life. How can you fucking get it that wrong? Where you got like over half a pint of head? It's ridiculous. I find it funny.
I mean that's kind of the way I went wrong in my political career.
You could pour a pint, yeah.
I could pour a pint, but I could also drink a hell of a lot of them as well. So
yeah, well, no, a lot of them do a lot of drinking. It's not the drinking that's the issue; it's the pouring for me. Right, I'm going to find something to drink. I might bring back 1 or 2 bottles quickly.
It must be said that Jack Daniels, it's really a mix and drink. But as I said, I'm not currently drinking carbonated stuff, so that's not for me. You know what, Sharky, I feel like I should do it just for your benefit. Just for your benefit, I feel like I should do it. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do it. So, whiskey, rum.
I just see you do a mixer there.
I've done it just for the benefit of Sharky. Sharky's closed his channel down. He's got a lot going on, so I thought just for the benefit of the King Shark.
Do you know what Jim's asked? Like, I'm assuming the idea is because they've moved. It's more profit in it. Making whiskey, there's profit margin, but if you look at like all the flavored stuff out there all the time, so you go through the whole idea of people having alka pops, which were just flavored alcohol, very sweet. They still exist. And then you had your seltzers that were flavored as well that people go for. So adding flavor makes it appeal to more people and younger drinkers as well, but more people that aren't used to it. But also there's more profit margin because they're like, what do we say, 27, 28%, is it? Rather than the 40%?
So Jack Daniels flavored, so apple, honey,
and fire, which is cinnamon. Fire.
So they're classed as liqueurs and not actual hard liquor, as they would say in America. And they produced it for trade, basically. Hotels, bars, kind of like a cocktail mixer. So you kind of get you can have like an apple martini made with Jack Daniels, and they can't really, bar staff cocktail people can't really mess it up as such. So I think that's kind of the main reason why they do it. But and it only really happens in the States with bourbon. So Jim Beam are the same, a honey. We've started over here a little bit with Jameson's orange.
No, I would say Glenfiddich to begin with, because not actual Glenfiddich, but they produced, wasn't it the first honey whiskey liqueur, which was, what's that one beginning with D again? Is it D? I can't think who it is. Glenfiddich owned them anyways, but that was like one of the first ones, one of the big ones over here.
Yeah, and then you've got things like Hague Club that are now like Hague Club Mediterranean Orange. Let's just put the word Mediterranean there because it sounds posher. We'll get an extra £1.50 a bottle for that.
I wonder where they're getting oranges from though. Florida probably imported, or Morocco.
Sharky's Garden.
Oh, there we go. So I'm on this. It's my Oban Distillery Edition #1. Supposedly, the story behind this, when I was there in the distillery, although it says nothing on the bottle about it, is that there were 3 generations of guys working there, all called Bob. And the second and third generation, the second generation was retiring and the third generation was moving up a grade, and they decided to honor them, and they helped come up with a flavor. Not a flavor, but they came up with this, which really is nothing at all. It's just something to sell in the distillery to people like me when we turn up. But yeah. All it says is distillery exclusive. Nothing to give away the story that they were selling in the actual distillery at that stage.
So, I mean, and the thing with distillery shops as well is they're often cheaper than what you can get elsewhere. They kind of market it slightly differently as well. So the price that they add on when they hit supermarkets and all that is obviously transport costs, storage costs. I
just so happened I was trying to show it because I actually put it in my open glass. Didn't even realise that I'd taken that one out. But yeah, it's quite a pale one. Obviously, it's not peated because it's over at that stage. Oh yes, that's a nice one. I mean, I like the Macallan. Macallan's very smooth, but smooth, not much flavour overall in my eyes. I can probably understand why people like it and they buy it because they're like, oh, it's such an easy drinking whiskey. But I'm looking for a bit more complexities in the whiskey. I'm wanting a bit of flavour as well to come through with it. Do you know what?
Yeah.
John, you're gonna let's create a new channel and we're just gonna call you the Rear Admiral, and in there you're gonna do reviews of whiskey and rum mixes and say what is the best. Obviously the best is the one that got you the most arseholed. I like
I'm
that.
I'm not very funny though, but the Rear Admiral sounds like someone we call Steve.
Because he's always up. But, no, what? Huh?
Because it what? Hey, hey, Lesby, Mr. Fairy.
Mr. Fairy.
Well, I've been watching this channel called the Whisky Lab. I've promoted them on here a few times, and they're over in Scotland this week. And what it is it's 2 American chaps that want to take independent bottling to the States.
Sorry, they don't have that in the United States at all. What? Because they're all owned by the big corporations. Wow.
Yeah. And independent bottling to distribute from outside of the US is extremely difficult to do because of every state has its own laws and challenges and
that's the problem
else.
with moving alcohol between states is difficult. So you can sell in your own state once you got the license, but then to move that out of your state to a different state becomes so convoluted. It's built that only the big companies are able to do it, or they have to sign up to a distributor, which is a big company anyways, and takes a cut out of everything. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so they've bought their quite a lot of casks. They've tasted a lot of independent bottlings, and yeah, they're kind of going to make it a go. So I think they're going to be based in Chicago.
So where have they bought their casks from? Because again, that business is, you tend to find like Diageo bring over Diageo casks, and so who have they managed to
find? So here's the fun thing. So you know, when a distillery puts out, when like a distillery opens, let's say, and they say, does anybody want to buy a cask straight off the bat? It's not ready yet. It's not this. So what a lot of the bigger independent bottlers do is they buy a lot of casks, or work with distilleries and say, well, if you're making that, here's a lump sum. We want so many casks, and they go, yeah, not a problem, fair dues.
It's I get it. It's the investment entirely, because you are then trusting them to handle and maintain, and they've got to distill it correctly, fill it, maintain it in there as well, and then you get the products out of it when you determine they refill it. I get that.
And the great thing about independent bottlers is you get different age statements on the whiskies.
Yeah, they're not
because they can open it whenever they want. They can bottle them.
Yeah, some of them may go for like the younger 7 years. Some may turn around and go, "We're doing a random 11-year one," or whatever it is that they're doing. Yeah, but again, depends on. So when I was on one of my tours, they were showing me ones that had been bought. What they'd done was they auctioned them off to charity. So I think it was Lefroy, in the warehouse, the main warehouse on the actual seafront, the old one, original. They had these ones, and it was deliberately laid that way because it's promotion. The charities are there, and their barrels have their a thing on the top of it to promote whoever's paid for it, in a sense. But it's all charity auction based. So someone's paid for that, and it's gone to a particular charity, but it's guaranteed to be there the whole time, that you can see through the cage, because you can't go in, it's behind a cage. But it's interesting because obviously that's going to taste different, because they move barrels around. They don't all spend time by the sea there because of the salt air. So you are going to get a different whiskey, aren't you?
Yeah. And that's kind of one of the great things about Islay, because their weather is so different.
But by the sea
Highlands,
as well,
Lowlands, and Speyside, and it gives a lot of character to the whiskey. Slurpee, on our Scottish road trip, I'm about to lose 9 days. So,
really, 9?
Well, yeah, the day when I get back as well, it's going to be the day after I get back, it's going to be a struggle. I'll sleep well on that Sunday when we get back.
You're sleeping that Sunday?
Oh, if you're still here, we'll go to the pub.
See, I'm unsure at the moment. I've got to make my mind up. Do I bring my work laptop with me and then come back on like a Monday evening and sort of work remotely on the Monday, which, the first day back, it's always emails, meetings, other stuff going on. So it's not too much questions. But if I bring my laptop to work, it means I can head off some of those on a quiet time, open it up, log in, head them off. Or do I not bring it because it's quite a chunky work laptop and I just don't bring it? And then it means I've got to get back on the Sunday, and I haven't even checked to see if there's rail strikes or anything at that stage.
I say bring it, and then on the Monday we can also go to the pub and you can plug it in. Do your email.
What do you mean? Yeah. On the I understood you there. I thought you meant on the first day. Yeah. I'm gonna bring my little mini PC because I think we can use that for streaming from if you want. Set up StreamYard and use it to handle stuff if you want.
So Slurpee.
Oh,
Yarn Distillery spiced pineapple rum.
I've got to try that when I'm there. I've got to try that.
It's very good. Very, very good.
But how sweet is it? How much like sweetness pineapple is it?
It's sweet, but not as sweet as a liqueur.
Okay. Well, it's 40%. I spotted that on the bottom.
40%. Yeah. So it's still pretty good. But these are the same ones that do the cherry whiskey liqueur. And all I do with that is I just pop the bottle in the fridge. And then when it's chilled, straight in the glass, nothing added to it.
I'm trying to change my lights to...
It's kind of dynamite.
Oh, there we go.
Slurpee says, I rented the game, jumping over a whiskey bottle. I called it hopscotch. I knew where it was going when I seen jumping and whiskey.
I see. Unfortunately, he wrote the punchline in capital letters, so I seen hopscotch first, and then I seen the rest of it. That was the unfortunate thing. But yeah, no, I like it. Slurpee's got all the one-liners. Oh,
yeah,
that's what we're going to be doing.
That's got no adjectives in. Slurpee.
So, how's the pineapple? What's?
They get the barrel from the Caribbean.
So what's an old? They normally store pineapple in it, pineapple juice or something.
Yeah. So in the Caribbean, they're very good with doing kind of banana pineapple rums that kind of like flavored. But they age theirs. So then by the time companies over here acquire those barrels, all the flavor from the barrel then gets imparted within the rum, which is pretty neat.
Yeah.
Mind you, they've also just launched a whiskey that was three and a half year in the making. £200 a bottle. I was like, I'm not paying £200 for it.
For your first ever whiskey, when to be called a whiskey, they're just meeting the definition of whiskey.
That's why it was three and a half year. Yeah, it's 3 years, 1 day, isn't it?
3.5 years in the making. Oh wow. Oh no, because legally, yeah.
Legally, we can't call it whiskey.
Yeah.
Until when, but
the first 6 months of trying to get the barrel and everything sorted out, and then the 3 years was sitting around waiting. It's a hard job, isn't it?
Mind you, though, they've sold every bottle. I just think for the first ever bottling of whiskey that they've ever done, £200 was a bit steep. Because young, there's no age statement. It's.
Oh, I was tempted to do something, and I've got to think about it now. I was tempted to put on a cider or two before I go, and then leave them to just, ferment out and be ready for when I come back. I need to pick up some yeast.
Well, we're also supposed to be live this Friday as well. Again, Liam's idea.
Yeah, Liam comes up with these ideas, and then Liam is competing pressures. So how it's looking right now is Friday, I may be in Winchester. I might be able to wing it. I don't know. Wednesday next week, I'm in Bristol. I could potentially do a live from a distillery, or no, not even distillery, brewery, I should say. I could do something like that. If you want to do a live, I could meet you for a bit until I got to head off and head back. But I don't know. I'm always too optimistic like that, aren't I? Yeah.
Jackman, that's what Emma said.
Oh, he's never going to mature.
Like a fine cheese. Yeah, a camembert. Camembert, that's what Emma says. I heard it on a live stream.
I think Jackman's more like a Baby Bell.
Ooh.
Not a mini, the actual big size one.
No. Stick with the mini baby. He's got one like a mini Baby Bell.
Mini Baby Bell. Everyone wants that. I mean, he's always unpeeling himself, isn't he? Showing it off.
He's always showing off his mini Baby Bell. I tried to. I like it. He's just put Baby Bell. As if like he's like one too. Yeah,
I mean, have you seen the peel around a Baby Bell? It can get quite long.
I like it. Yeah. So where was I? Oh, I was up to Thursday, wasn't I? That's it. See all these little tangents we've got on.
I apologise. That was partly me because I started with all the Sam Smith stuff. But yeah, on Thursday is when we're heading back, isn't it? We're heading off Isla,
Yep.
which was
So
supposed to be going from Port Ellen, isn't it?
Port Ellen. That could change to Port Ascig. Who knows?
Yeah.
And then we make our way around to Campbelltown, where we've got B&B, bed and breakfast. The breakfast already comes with it. So for the last 2 days, there's no cooking breakfast.
Yeah.
Or leaving the place to go and get something.
I mean, if we look at it and try it the first day, we're not happy, then yeah, we can always just whatever the next day.
If we try it the first day and we're not happy, tough, because we paid for a second day. So
there's no harm in it. And I mean, worst case scenario, you turn around and go, no, I'll just have some toast today and then go down the road and get a proper one after.
Yeah.
Have a coffee and tea.
They only charge £10 a head.
Oh, it's It's not very much. But yeah. But in Campbelltown, what's your plans in Campbelltown then? Because there's 3 on the radar, is it?
No, because I thought, well, we'll go along with this tasting kind of session things that I've done the thumbnails for, and we'll go to the Springbank Washback Bar, and we'll do a flight of whiskey, which
I think
also the most expensive.
Jackman wants a clarification on where you're heading.
Yeah, Camel Toe, Jackman. Do you want to come, mate?
Yeah, I mean, he spends most of his evenings around there, but yeah. Campbelltown.
Camel Toe on the Beer Gorilla. That we know.
So you're about the flight of whiskey there.
Yeah. Well, what's good with that is they do about 10 to 12 different flights of whiskey. And one of them, I think it's about £48. And they mix Springbank with Kilkerran, with Longbow, and Glen Scotia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
So I was kind of like, I'll use that one. To be honest, I budgeted £60 for a flight there, because if I can try 4 different distilleries in one flight, if there's 8 grams, that's kind of worth it, just for the fact of trying 4 in one place. So I'm thinking of doing that on the Thursday, because on the Friday I'm thinking of doing a pub crawl, getting some fish and chips, and doing a live stream just to
are there many pubs in Campbelltown?
There's about 4.
Yeah, and they're all hotels, I guarantee you. Or when when you're looking at a Scottish pub, I'm looking up right now what pubs are there. You're looking at a Scottish pub when there's no windows at all. That's a proper Scottish pub, isn't it?
Mm.
Come on, it doesn't want to have to.
So Mersey, that's my first breakfast of the entire trip. I'll be doing a breakfast review on that one, a review video containing all that good stuff. So, and that's at Annandale. That's before we go and get absolutely wrecked on whiskey.
But it's right. The thing is, if I was going to have a breakfast, I would need to take some of the bits that are part of the breakfasts across all of the lands, because from the Irish side, I do want white pudding. I want some potato scones as well. You know, potato cakes. Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean that's Irish and Belfast sort of fry thing, anyways. And then up in Scotland, you got your haggis, and then you got your meats and tatties, and then you've got your black pudding, and then your usual like sausage, bacon, beans. No tomato, please. Leave that on the side. Don't need that around here. I'll have the mushrooms though. I know you won't.
I want mushrooms.
Yeah, and then I'm not a fried toast man. No, I can't do that. I can't do that.
So I'm thinking when I get back of doing the ultimate British breakfast video, containing.
Is this going to be like Beard Meets Food, where you're going to go and do a whole all-you-can-eat breakfast?
No, this is me cooking for breakfast. With white pudding, black pudding, haggis, cockles.
What?
Beans, fried bread, eggs, bacon, sausages, square sausages, sausage.
And
the potato cake.
Do they call it lawn or squeak? Do they call they call it like
lawn sausage? LORNE. I'm thinking I could do that as a.
I'm not a fan of Bobble and Squeak.
I'm adding it to the breakfast just to try and get all corners of the UK.
Oh no, I know. Yes, I talked about.
So it's kind of like the ultimate British. So when people say, I want a British breakfast," it's like, well, this is a British breakfast. What you want is either an English breakfast, Scottish breakfast, Welsh breakfast, or Northern Ireland. It's very different. I mean, a Yorkshire breakfast differs from a breakfast in London. I mean, I don't know how Londoners prat about by putting chips on. Give over. That's not a breakfast. That's just for fat people. Fat people in the West End who just want, a filler to go with all the extra breakfast.
It is. Like the cafe, I don't go to it. Apart from the whole idea of they only take cash, so I think it's a tax dodge and massively at that stage. They don't take card or anything. It's like they'll go, oh, you get your egg, bacon, beans, sausage, chips. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want chips. I don't want chips. That's not a breakfast item normally for me. I mean, if they turn around and say a slice of cold pizza from the night before, but that's more breakfasty than chips. I'll take the slice of cold pizza, please. Yeah.
I'm kind of like, you know what? Leave chips off for breakfast, and then if you want a lunch, have sausage, egg, chips, and beans, or sausage, or eggs, chips, and beans, or a little bit of
ham, eggs, and chips, sort of thing. Like gammon and hash browns. I forgot the hash browns. Yes, you got to have hash browns. Got to have hash browns.
It depends.
I reckon you got to make your own. That's going to put you on it.
Well, what I'm thinking, Mersey, is I'll get my own pork shoulder, and I can get the Ulster style bacon. I can do that myself. So,
what, you're going to cut your own bacon?
Yeah. I'll get a pork shoulder and I'll butcher the bacon off it.
Nice.
Cash is king. It is indeed. It is indeed.
It's cash is not king with this place. I mean, the only reason they do it is you either give people an option or not, and the reason they do it is purely, all I can think is a tax dodge. And too often, the Sainsbury's nearby is the only cash machine, and it goes tits up like Sainsbury's did like a week ago, where they had a software update and everything stopped working. And when cash is king on that day, sadly, no one is in their shop because no one has cash on them. They all go to Sainsbury's to get the cash out to go there. So they lose money. And too often that ATM goes down, so they're in trouble. And it's sort of, as a business, if you're dependent upon an income stream and you're saying cash only, you've got to think of, you can't just rely upon one cash machine in the area. Just doesn't work. I know they're not English, that's why they're not from the British Isles at all, but that's why I didn't include them originally. But I do.
There has to be a mix, but cash is definitely king, and the reason why cash is king is for a lot of small businesses. I know this is going to sound wrong. The only way they can actually make a profit for themselves, and especially if they've got staff, is to filter a little bit off the top.
No,
I know that shouldn't be said, but that's kind of the truth of the fact of owning a small business. It's kind of.
But if they're operating cash only, what they're doing is they're going to cause themselves some issues, because most of the people that go in there end up going to the Sainsbury's to get cash, and too often that machine is out of action. So their business is fully dependent upon either people having cash always with them, which isn't always the case, or going to the Sainsbury's to get cash out. It's not like if you're in the town centre and you've got 7 or 8 different cash machines available. That makes total sense to me. But they're not in an area like that. I'm not in. That's just a mini little row of shops. I've got like 5 takeaway restaurants, a Sainsbury's local, a local shop, and a cafe, and a tattoo parlor as well. But the idea is, I'm not getting drunk enough for that. The idea is that they cause their own issues by only taking cash, whereas if they were like a lot of businesses, say cash is preferred, but they'll take card as well, but they don't do that, and they cause their own issues with it all the time. But aside from that, the main reason I don't like them is the blasphemy of always coming with chips with your English breakfast. What's that all about? Chips.
But what I will say is, when businesses do go card only, I know a lot of places do it now, theatres especially, and places that have high turnover of staff. So where they've got a high turnover of staff, they don't want staff handling the money.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. But what they do is, like when Greggs was hit by a cyber attack, they had to close shops because nobody could pay for stuff. And then you think, well, you know what?
I don't agree cash only.
Took a bit of cash.
I don't agree cash only. I don't agree card only. There should be both options taken, because I've been to places where they depend upon card entirely, and you're like something like, I've had my card got locked, and it's like, well, I've got cash, and like, oh no, we don't take cash. You're like, well, I have about £20 on me as a fail safe, to fall back on. And I know it always comes in handy. You've always got cash there, but it's not my preferred option. It's always a backup option. But yeah, no, the Greggs one wasn't that. I think my lights are dimming more and more. Is the missus doing this remotely? How dare she? No, the issue with the Greggs thing and the Sainsbury's before that was there is a new minimum standard expected, and they're all updating their systems to meet this new min standard. But the problem is, this is a min standard. They should all be above these min standards already. So they're rolling out, patches and updates and all the rest. I swear she's pissing around and dimming the lights on me remotely. But they're not fully testing things. They're rushing it out. And I reckon what's hit McDonald's and then Sainsbury's and then Greggs is all to do with the actual update of the software that they're pushing out. They've not fully tested it because they're trying to meet a security standard, which is the min standard.
But fancy companies struggling when they meet an EU standard on cyber policy, and then when we're no longer in the EU, they all go, shit.
No, this is a global standard that is required for card transactions.
We've had that many, Steve.
Yeah. I've poured another one of these. So I've had this, and to be fair, the measure is probably a double measure, maybe a bit more than double. It's a generous measure, and then I've had 2 minis as well.
So here's one thing I wanted to say. So all these distillery websites that I've looked on, they all say each dram will be 15 milliliters.
No, that's a new thing. They never used to do that. But also, when I've been, they have hand poured from the bottle. There is no measuring at all.
Yeah.
There's no measuring.
I'd be very disappointed if I went and they were using a measure
Actually,
for 15 mil, because it would be, 15 mil, well, 25 mil, no, 25, 30 mils a single, a large.
Last beer, there was a beer earlier. No, today is, we've decided to go a bit, it's Whiskey Wednesday. I'm saying we've decided to go. It's Whiskey Wednesday. So we're all having some whiskey at the moment. I did bring out
He's had a beer, but I've had a rum whiskey
mix,
cocktail.
yeah. But I did bring out the Siren A, B, and C, guess the hop beers, but I've decided I'm on the whiskey now. I'll stay on the whiskey. Although I say that, I've got something else I might open a beer wise that I'm tempted by. Shocker.
Temple.
Outrageous. No, yeah.
I'll give you a breakdown of this.
I'm just thinking with the what they're saying. I'm just trying to think. Like, I think it was Lefroy where I went in and it was set up already, and they'd already poured your drams. No other place have I gone where they've poured your dram, pre-poured it. You when you go there, the person opens the bottle and pours it at that stage and goes around and does that. And they're not really too concerned, because I've had some of them where you say, can I get a takeaway one of that as well? And they'll pour you an extra dram. They don't care, because the bottles are all, taxed off and expensed and whatever, it's done. So they're not too concerned about it.
Yeah, it's kind of, I'm not too bothered, but I will say it, like, so
it's not a standard
Lagavulin
measure. 15 is not a measure in my eyes. It's 25 or 30.
So Lagavulin for 5 drams this time on a tasting session is £35. And you think, not bad, £35 for 5 drams. However, last year it was only £26 for 5 drams.
Massive increase.
Every single one. Annandale is £25 this year. It was £18 last year. They kind of, so nearly all of them have added an extra £7 to £9 on a tasting session, which you think isn't too bad, but when you go into 10 distilleries, you're looking at like an extra £100 for tasting sessions. I've asked for the costs of drinks within their bars. Not one of them have come back.
Do you know why? Because
these are the current prices. Because they fluctuate.
That's it. You just go to a shop, get a free tasting. I'm just looking right now. So,
Kalila. So Kalila is £21 with 3 drams and 1 cocktail.
Well, okay, here we go. So, I got my things the wrong way. So I paid quite a bit for this one. This is 2021. I paid for me and my mate to go into the warehouse tasting at Lefroy, £60 each. But with that, it's the idea that you are drinking directly from free cask, so cask strength. And at the end of it, you get to draw your own 150ml bottle to take away with you, along with the glasses. So that's not like one to take away and confirm it, but just to look at another one. Here we go.
That one now is £80 this year, Liam.
Yeah, but that's gone up. But here we go. Oban. This was a tour plus 3 drams, 1750.
Yeah.
A tour plus, 3 drams, and we had the drams stood in the warehouse area because that was where they're doing the exclusion. But I've done that twice. No, actually, no, this wasn't that one. This was the other one. This was with my little brother, and it was upstairs, and that's where we got all the extra stuff as well. And that was 1750. Llangollen, I can't find the booking. I can see the notes for it. Here we go. Llangollen, £15, 2 adults, 4 whiskies.
Yeah. So it just goes to show you the price increase of.
That's mental, isn't it? So Llangollen, it was we sat inside, and this was the one that pre-poured, and you get 4 whiskies, you get the glasses, and then they had a they give you a £5 off voucher as well. So really, you're paying £10, £2.50 a dram, which makes sense, and then £5 off something. And I bought the Nick Offerman one that they'd made at that stage.
Yeah,
that's a really good price, isn't it? But it entices you to also buy some stuff when you're there. But I think they've moved their model away because they know they're so in demand, aren't they?
Yeah, and the thing with it now is, so it's 5 drams at Lagavulin now. It's £35.
Yeah,
so they give you an extra dram, but they're charging you £10 extra. So they're charging you the price of 4.
What I would want to know is, are they giving me a bigger voucher for that? But I mean, they're not going to.
No. And what they're saying is, it's all, well, the tax on whiskey and this, that, and the other has changed things. It hasn't changed that much. Even with inflation, bottle prices have gone through the roof. I think we had this on a live stream before, didn't we, from Aquavita?
We, on the final day of our 12 days of whiskey, the summing up, so day 13, we'd done the live and we pulled up that chart that they put together, which showed the increases, which were massive, weren't they, across the bottles? And it's true. It is true. If you're not looking at the standard supermarket stuff, because the problem is they can't put that up too high because there's so much competition in the supermarket arena that if one of them goes up too high, supermarkets will turn around to another distiller and say, oh, can you do that? And also they've got the problem to compete with the imports. So the imports are coming in and then getting bottled in the UK. So JD comes in and gets bottled here, and they've got to compete against that. Whereas with the single malts that they're selling as like 18-year-olds, 15-year-olds that you don't generally see as much in supermarkets, they know they've got a free rein to charge as much as they like because they're selling those across the world, not just the UK, aren't they?
Yeah. And the funny thing is, for supermarkets, Asda is named as an independent bottler.
So have they got contracts with like Diageo somewhere for a certain number? Because it makes sense, because I think that's what Lidl have done with the ones they produce, because Lidl have like Ben Briac or something like that.
So,
and
Ben Romack. So Lidl took out Lidl and Aldi aren't registered independent bottlers. They've kind of got a deal with the distilleries to do them bottles for them.
But they won't announce who it is and all the rest with it.
Yeah,
but the Lidl one,
Asda,
for the price,
Asda have just gone. Asda have gone all out and gone, we're now an independent bottler. And Asda now have 2 bottles of whiskey their own brand?
The problem with that is that if something goes wrong, when you do that, there's no comeuppance because you've bought that whiskey in a sense. If it doesn't turn out the way you expected it, well, is it because you took it out when it was too young? Did you have issues when you were bottling it, like oxidization or anything else that goes with it? Whereas if you actually just deal with the distillery itself and you buy it off them, anything that's bad, you just send it back to them. So, I mean, there's more profit to be gained out of it, but there's more risk. That's why it exists, isn't it?
But here's the thing with independent bottling. If you've got a rubbish whiskey or whiskey,
get rid of it.
Well, not what you do. You just keep hold of it. Because whatever distillery you've got it from, that will age. And then when it comes down to a new 8-year statement, they could have exactly the same 8-year-old, 10-year-old, 12-year-old whiskey sat in the casks that they've already got.
That's the thing sometimes that I know it sounds weird, but the distiller goes around and tastes things, and they will taste barrels and batches and turn around and go, oh, do you know what? That one's not quite ready yet. And you sometimes turn around and go, well, is it? I know they now look for certain blends, what they're producing, but you look at it and they go, if something hasn't made the 21-year batch, are they saying, oh, it's really good? Or are they saying, I think it still needs more time, it's just slower than the rest? So even if it's been aged there for, say, 25 years, is it actually better than 21 year or 18 year?
So here's the thing with an age statement that people overlook at times.
Oh, it's the
an age statement is the minimum that's been in.
Yeah.
So you could buy a 15-year-old bottle of whiskey that's been sat there for 28 years.
Yeah.
But they're just saying it's not as good as the 28-year-olds. So we can just market it as a 15-year-old. It makes no difference.
But it's a weird one. So if you look at the distilleries that produce certain age statements, so as they like Glenfiddich have 12, 15, they've got their 18, 21. Yeah, they've got the sort of age statements that we know of, and they'll taste something at 11 years and turn around and go, I don't think that's ready for the 12. Or they could say, oh, I think that's good and it could wait around for the 15. Yeah, a 28 sounds good for you, Jack. Sorry, I read it again. I'm still laughing. Sorry.
On that note, I'm just going to move location. Back in a second. Keep talking. I can hear you.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Love it, Jag. No, my thinking always is that they're going for a certain flavor profile. So they know what the 12 and 15, 18 they're going for flavor profile. So they may taste something that's 11 and go, oh, we don't think that's right for the 12, but it'll be good for the 15, leave it in there more years. But what if it hits the 15 and go, oh, it's still not quite right, leave it for the 18, leave it 21. And then maybe they turn around and go, age 25, it's finally right. It doesn't mean it's actually good. It could just mean it was progressing slower than all the rest of them. So if it was in a different place of the warehouse, that could have been in the original 12 year. It's just where they're stored, how they're maintained. It changes everything on it. So, I mean, I know I'm sort of disarguing the whole age statement. Age statement does have a benefit of like wood contact with the whiskey. And obviously you got like the angel share that you lose in all time. But there is a fine line between saying something's a massive age and it's amazing and it's young and not amazing.
And there's also a point to say that I've had some better whiskies that are below age statement than the actual age statement.
I've had Glen Murray 7 year, because they don't put an age statement on it because it was only 7 years, the ones they had, and they were good. As I said, I think as they build their business up, they will potentially try and build something that's age statement wise and put in there. But in the supermarket, if you see them and you see the Glenfiddich 12, the Glen Murray is probably, I think, a pound or two cheaper, depends on if there's offers or not. But I would go for the Glen Murray every time, even though I know that is probably about 7 years and not 12. But it's just better. Glenfiddich, it's a brand that you're paying for.
Liam had a Glen Murray, Jackman had Andy Murray.
There we go. Andy Murray's more 28, isn't he?
Andy Murray's more up at Jackman Street than anything.
Is he about 35, 36 now? Must be. By the way, just had a look earlier. We were talking about Campbelltown, bring us back on track a little bit. So had a quick look. There are 5 pubs in Campbelltown. By pubs, I mean there are 4 hotels and 1 pub in Campbelltown. But that's generally how it is in remote Scotland. Your hotel is your pub, and it's just a hotel bar. What I find funny is that I'm looking on camera, the What Pub database that they've got. So that has no ales. This one had ales until last year. That has no ales. That has no ales. That has no ales. Because it's just general Highlands. Once you get outside of, I shouldn't say Highlands, when you get outside of the big city, Glasgow, Edinburgh, Aberdeen, Inverness, you're not going to find ales anywhere generally. And even up in Inverness, the main place you're getting ales is the Wetherspoons and the brewery Black Isle based there. Jackman says he loves a Murray Mint. I think a Murray Mint puts you about 80, mate. That's well over 28.
So I'm looking at the Washback Bar
in Campbell. Yeah.
So their 3-in-1 is £38. They've got a Hazelburn 10-year-old, Hazelburn 12-year-old Sherrywood. They've got a Springbank 10-year-old, Springbank 15-year-old, Longrow Range peated, and a Longrow 18-year-old within that flight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 in the flight for £38, and you got the 4.
That's not bad. The one question I'd ask you though is you've got Springbank there, haven't you? They must have I know it sounds bad, but they must have a bar area. You go in, take a tasting or 2, and walk out again.
So Springbank own Springbank, Longrow, Hazelburn, Kilkerran.
There we go. Yeah.
So it's all served in one bar. You don't actually get to go around each distillery. You just go to one place.
Oh no, we just missed out. Springbank were doing a free tour of their Kilkerran distillery. What?
Yeah, the Kilkerran. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the Washback Bar. Sorry, that's what I'm looking at now. And you're right. Springbank single malt, page loads. Yeah.
But if we just went super, so basic Springbank is 28 quid. 10-year-old, 15-year-old, 18-year-old, and they've kind of got one of their sherry cask in there as well.
How's a place list themselves as a bar and only be open till 6 p.m? That's disgraceful.
Oh yeah, did I tell you that? Yeah, most places in Campbelltown close early as well.
Yeah, well, I don't think all the pubs do, in the sense of the hotel bars.
All the pubs, yeah, the one pub.
Yeah.
Hotel, I don't know if the hotels are open for non-hotel guests.
Generally they are in Scotland. When I've gone to them all in the Highlands and that, you're welcome in. But if they are more a restaurant pub, then you might struggle. But these don't look it. So looking at this one, ooh, that doesn't have. So the Black Sheep pub is open till half past midnight every day. Every day, that's good. Open at 11, open till half past midnight. Burnside is open till 1 a.m. So we've got a full back after we leave the other one. Commercial Inn is open till 1 a.m. as well. And the Ardshiel Hotel is open till 1:45. And then the other one doesn't have hours listed. So that's not bad in the sense of you're in a town and we know that places are open till 1 a.m. I'm not saying we're drinking till 1 a.m., but we can be. There we go. But I know we're going to go in and
we probably will be
with the pubs. It's with the pubs. It's the idea that it's more checking out what their whiskey menus are like, because they're unlikely to have anything beer wise that's going to be of interest based on my previous. Yeah.
So the one thing I was thinking is like the Friday. So obviously the Saturday we come back, we're going to meet Geordie in Glasgow.
Has he decided? He's mentioned where, hasn't he? We shouldn't say though where. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't
which
want
is going to be cool.
You don't want your big gay following coming to join you there, do you? Jackman will be there straight on the train.
Yeah, we don't want all that riffraff. But that's a beer day. Well, it's not really a beer day. It's a couple of beers while the driver grabs a coffee and chill for a bit.
We'll get him a meal. We'll get him a meal there at that stage. I'll buy it.
I said to him, I'll get you a Greg's. I've got a Greg's voucher. And he was happy with that.
No, we'll get him a nice meal at the place because they do decent food there. We'll probably all grab food. No, by the time we get there, we'll be in need of food. But
the Friday before we come back, I thought. So this is a thing of us going away. Live streams, yes. My tea time, coffee mornings, yes. Pre-recorded videos, tasting sessions, yes.
Vlog.
So each tasting session we do, we're going to record it, but we're not going to be live. We're just going to, camera will be down low. It'll just be focused on us just talking about the whiskey that's in front of us, basically.
The idea is we can use infographics on the side at that stage to try and produce something a bit more, Yeah.
And then there'll be the daily vlog ones.
Which will be after again,
And then on that Friday, when we're in Campbelltown, which is our first full day, shall I say, rest day, there's a good job we might be whiskeyed out by that day. I have a feeling after 7 days of quite a lot of whiskey consecutively,
I've got a feeling that it'll be a complete opposite. By the time we get there, we'll have the whiskey shakes. I'm like, well, I need whiskey. I reckon.
Yeah, welcome to the Islet Ale.
Day 2, I'm going to wake up going, oh my God, I've got the alcohol sweats. I can't have any more. And then day 3, I'll be like waking up going, I need more.
Waiting for you guys to come to the gorilla. It could be on the cards, Jugman. Obviously, Philby's doing his thing in October. His birthday.
Do Phil? I haven't paid attention. What's he doing?
I'm not doing Phil again. Phil me cracking. Oh yeah, we're on the run. Sorry, Phil. So it's his birthday weekend in October, and we're all meeting up in Birmingham.
I have not heard of that. Oh wow, I've been left out. Thank you.
Well, that's because you haven't been around, have you?
No, I'm joking. I don't care. I was gonna say another pun before that, but I feel now if I say it, it's really bad because it feels like I'm.
Just say it.
No, I won't. Also, I'm gonna say, it's just ever so off.
No, you'll say it, mate. You'll say it.
No. When you go back, the tartan nearly lines up with the line in your curtain behind you. It so nearly lines up. Yeah.
Do you like? Oh, I've done that though as well. Like when you're on big screen, you can't. It's right above
Yeah, you can still see
collaboration through
collaboration
whiskey.
whiskey at the bottom. Yeah, yeah, it's nice.
People think I just waste my time doing nothing.
Well, we all think you waste your time, but yeah.
That's a fact. Yeah, but that's going to be the week. There's going to be loads and loads planned. Like I said, most places close early, and in fact, the first 2 nights when we were away, in fact, the Friday night before we go away, we're going out and having beers. No whiskey on that Friday night before we go. I don't want to.
Are we doing what you potentially spoke about that day, or is that just a joke?
No, I reckon that's very doable.
How many stations do you have?
So there's 4 that we can get off on.
Okay.
So yeah, we kind of devised a little challenge for ourselves the day before we go away, which could be so wrong but so great at the same time.
So wrong but so great. I'm just checking on the map quickly.
Sounds like a bloody Winston Churchill quote.
No, it's good. Co-op at least is open till 10 o'clock. Question: Did you want me to book pizzeria for us?
Yeah, can do. I was thinking of doing them on the Monday night.
Yeah, because I think if we book it, we're guaranteed it. So, pizzeria is an amazing pizza place there on the island. Pete and then Zeria, but they do some crazy pizzas. I think one that stands out would be like the black pudding pizza. I mean, I think it's like black pudding and goat's cheese. Fucking hell, that's that. But they also do, because obviously it's an island and they have fisheries because they're on a bay area and there's a lot of fisheries. They also do like a lot of scallops because they harvest scallops, but they do other things. I don't think they've got prawns, but they've got they must have a salmon pizza. Scotland's famous for salmon, aren't they?
They've also got an oyster, because Islay is well known for oysters.
Yes, there we go.
I've tried to, so I've looked into trying to get out to the Islay oyster shed,
and
then it's doable. It's very, very doable.
They've got one right up your street here, mate. The chicken tikka pizza.
Chicken tikka. Now we're talking.
Yeah, they got a chicken fajita one as well. Here we go. Black and red. Black pudding with goat cheese and caramelized onions. That's amazing. They've also they've also got your one that you're on about, but I'm gonna have to ask you a question. I'm assuming that must be potato. Brandon Rost. Rost is Rosty. They mean Rosty, don't they? Yeah. So Rosty and smoked mussels with mozzarella, herbs. Yeah, okay, that's it. Sorry, I thought there was more items beneath it. It was just the title and then the description was the same. And then they do the scallop pizza, as I said, with Parma ham and onion and garlic. Oh, I mean, we need to go there and buy a few of the pizzas and that's it. Just try them.
And you know what's good about that place as well? If we wanted to,
it's around the corner.
And we can get takeout.
Yeah, they do takeout, so you can always take it home. But they are quite busy. Did you want to eat in or take out? We can always take out and go back to the place because it's only about 5 minutes
I'm thinking, should we do a takeout and then
record it?
Record us doing. We could get 3 or 4 pizza videos out of that.
I say go for it. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Trying the unique pizzas of Scotland.
I mean, of Islay. This isn't even Scotland, mate. This is
This
unique.
is
This is
Isla's
unique.
own thing.
Like it's not deep fried. There's not a Mars bar on top. This is Islay, baby. Isla's gone. We're going to give you black pudding. We're going to give you scallops and mussels. There you go. Enjoy it. Yeah.
And there's also a little place that does burgers, and they do lamb burgers. But every burger has haggis on top and an egg.
I thought you were going to say something weirder there. A bit like when you go to a beer festival and you go get a hog roast and they go, "Oh, this is rosy." I thought you were going to say every lamb burger tells you who it came from. I don't know why I thought that was going to be it, but there we go.
They probably do from the Islay estate, but
so
that's what I mean. There's
and you go, "Oh, that's because John had a go on her." You go, "All right then, I don't want to know about that."
so the kind of the good thing about the whiskey tastings is most of them say it's between an hour and a half. So if we did 2 a day, Monday, Tuesday, then obviously Lefroy, Lagavulin, and Ardbeg on the Wednesday.
I think, yeah, we've chosen Ireland
where it gives us loads of time to get out and do stuff.
I think it's perfect. We've got the opportunity to do them all. I mean, if we were obviously over in, I don't know, I'm trying to think, Elgin.
So Kiloma and Brookladdy is next to the Oyster Shed and Mackia Bay.
Yeah, but one of them is quite a distance. So I've gone laddie to Cologne, and it was because it's not quite farm track because they've done their road up, obviously, but it is single track passing. So it's you go up single track all the way, and there's constantly people coming and going because it's a tourist attraction, isn't it? But yeah, it's not as quick as you think because Google will turn around and go, "Oh, that's 20 minutes." And you turn around and go, one, yes, it's national speed limit, but I'm not doing national speed limit on this stone road. Two, I keep needing to give way or have to slow down for someone to give way and pull into the passing place. So Google tells you something and you turn around and go, it's not what you think it is. So I always say when you're traveling there, add on about like 5-10 minutes based on the distance. But no, I was thinking like, I know it sounds weird, but if this all goes well, we've got, well, I'm not saying next year, but there is the potential for, a follow-up trip where we go to another whiskey location.
And we'll keep that one a secret for now.
No, I mean it's not a secret. I'm talking about.
We're already doing Annandale, so we kind of got the Lowlands.
Hey, David. Long time no see. How are you doing?
If anyone's in the Lowlands and deeply offended that I just said, well, we're doing Annandale, so that's the Lowlands. I do apologise, but
I mean, like you look at it and go, if you were planning Speyside, you have so many places there competing against each other. There's so many options. Opening hours don't matter because there's so many to go through and do. Whereas Islay's difficult to get to because you've got to get the ferry and everything goes with it. Whereas Speyside, you could be in Inverness and head down every day and back again. It's not so far, is it? It's just
no.
Yeah,
but it won't bother us too much anyway because we probably have cameraman, chauffeur, driver.
I know. Yeah, we're not affected.
Food go getter.
Yeah.
That's right. If it's only you, buddy, that's fine, mate.
But yeah, David, I'm doing good. I'm doing good, man. Obviously, no videos on the channel since we finished our whiskey live, which was January the 7th, I think. We finished 6th whiskey day, 7th was, or 5th and 6th, I don't remember, something like that.
I've had about 8 hours sleep since then. So
it looks like it with that beard, mate. Yeah. I love
How
it.
does your garden grow?
I shaved today, David. I had a beard. I shaved it off. I was showing my beard from 2 weeks ago, literally on camera there.
But no, if this week, so I kind of want it. So I've never done full day vlogs. I'm not the type of asshole, to be honest.
No, but
I'm not like that egotistic to show everything, but I want to do it because if we can get more of these done in the future, I think it'll be interesting for people to kind of see.
I would say with the all-day vlogs, and sorry, that was quite a creaky cork, wasn't it? Creaky cork. There we go. Yeah. No, with the all-day vlogs, the idea is obviously you've got to try and capture as much as you can, recording as you go, but you've got to realise that if you're trying to capture something, you need to capture it multiple times from different angles, which sort of destroys when you're on the trip, you're like, oh, I've got to do this, do that. And then if you don't do that, when you come back to it, you turn around and go, oh, I can't use that footage, and you start discounting it. So when I was doing my little Europe travel thing, the idea was I wasn't spending time taking loads of footage because I was rushing. Oh yeah, that was a sexy cork pull. Yeah. Very creaky though. But it's the idea of do it in pace or haste or whatever it is, and you know that you're not going to get everything. Whereas if you do it slower, you know you've got multiple chances. But the only difference I'd say is we are on the island, we do have time. So there is potential to try and take some nice shots, take our time with multiple angles if you want to get your vlog looking good. But
yeah, what I will say is these vlogs, there's not going to be any bloody walk by shots stuff. That's for, I'll leave that to the Mac Master. Let him do all that rubbish.
What? Where's that come from? Wow. Okay. Yeah. Lovely quote.
I'm sorry, but people that watch the Mac Master know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I do.
I know what you're on about. I know what you're on about, and I did think about that for my.
What I want is
you turn the camera and you walk into the distance or walk towards it. I thought about that, and I was like, do you know what? I can't leave my camera there in a remote location, maybe, but not there because someone's going to nick it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to do it because that's just extra work.
Yeah.
And the fact that you look like a nub when you do it.
I don't think, yeah. So if you're doing vlog stuff, I will admit that there was occasions like when I was waiting for things and I recorded, like someone waiting for a bus, I'll record multiple times something or another. And then when I came to the edit, I was like, oh, Liam, you just said that before, so you don't need to have that one. I choose the best one out of it. If you repeat yourself, there's no issue because you can cut it out if you don't want it. But if you don't repeat yourself, there's no way to add it in if the first one was bad and you don't mention it in the second one, unless you do a voiceover. Hence, I done voiceovers.
Yeah, I kind of want to get more of the sights than actual the camera looking at me, because it'll be a shame the places that we're going to kind of have the camera pointing at me when the places we're going to is just so beautiful no matter what the weather.
It's an absolute thing. So you want to capture the sights but not the camera pointing. It makes perfect sense why I'm going to go on the walk and you're not going to go on the walk.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sending the cameraman though. But cameraman, if you did something like, the American Monument, you've got cameraman there at your kind of disposal, and then you can just get the stuff off him.
I think the only thing is there'll be amazing shots to take, but the wind is so bad there, I don't think he's going to get a drone up. I'm just going to say, if he takes a drone, it's only going to be just above head height where he is. If he goes over the sea, you've lost your drone at that stage. The winds are terrible around there. But we might catch a calm day. You never know, and get something amazing. But I mean, when we're in the Bay Area in Beaumont, it's calm still. There will be moments of that because it's a bay and he can get some good shots as well. So there will be some good shots, but some locations it's just not going to be possible, is it? They're all by the bay, so we're dependent upon the weather, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, most of it is like, so the rain looks like it's just going to be in for the week. The winds, you're looking at around 20 kilometers an hour. So, yeah, it's going to be hit and miss, but you know what? Even if it's still pissing down, the views are still going to be great. And, you know, if one of us falls over in a muddy bog,
in a peaty bog,
even better content. In fact,
you're putting me into one. I already know I'm being stitched up here, aren't I? I'm being stitched up. I know it. Terrible. Right.
I don't know, mate, but I've told cameraman to bring an extra couple of pairs of gloves, just in case.
Well, we're going for the you being frame money. Oh, that's not there anymore. Right. I'll be a few seconds going slash quickly.
Yeah, Mr. Well, that's the thing. So we're gonna be doing a lot of stuff. If I was to say anything, I'd say it's more like a working holiday than a go and chill out, drink a little bit of whiskey, and then enjoy ourselves. I've kind of I've already got a YouTube schedule already done out until the end of June. With all the content I've recorded already, plus this trip. So, yeah, but I kind of, part of my schedule isn't what is on Liam's. So there's a whole heap of work to do as well to put content out on Liam's. In fact, like during the vloggy stage of each day, the whiskey reviews, like the whiskey sessions that we're going to be doing, won't be on my channel, they'll be on Liam's. It's kind of me giving something back to Liam as well, because, you know, he's kind of jumped in. This holiday, it was kind of, instead of me doing Europe, so instead of doing Spain, Italy, Austria, Czech Republic, Copenhagen,
you sent me your plan where you were going to go, and it was an amazing plan of where you were looking to go.
It would have worked out about the same price.
I mean, travel can be cheap. UK staying can be expensive, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I've obviously been chatting with my brother. Not this year, maybe back end of next year, early 2026. We want to do a US Southern State tour, food tour. Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. You never know. Anybody wants to jump on?
I'm hoping in the next year at least that I've been meaning to go for ages. I know it's not massive anyways, but I've never been Boston. I want to go Boston. I mean, I know they're not massive now, but I'd love to still go Sam Adams. But even still, in the whole state, there's loads of places to go, brewery-wise, and then head on to New York, where I've got Mrs. side family as well. So I think there is something in next year. I'm looking to do that, but how things go, not always guaranteed. I might be back out in India for all I know in September, October. Who knows?
Well, funny enough, so my mum's partner, he's away in Birmingham this weekend because he's got 6 weeks in India, October, November this year.
Why is he going to India?
Because he's Indian.
Why is he going to India though for 6 weeks? Is it wedding season? Wedding season's not till like November, so
no. So the family. So how can I put it in the politest way? We own a village.
Hmm.
On a local land.
Raj, you're a Raj amongst the people.
Yeah.
There we go.
And,
Yes.
and he's going out to do a little bit of diplomatic work and stuff like that, and
okay,
get pissed on cheap Indian whiskey, which we don't really need because we've actually got a lad called Gulldip that does amazing desi.
But most of that whiskey is rum. So there we go. Yeah. No, I mean, I would love to go back out to India again. If I go back out to India, I'm gonna try and either hit Rajasthan or head down to Kerala. But I mean, I know I'm limited when I go there because work and whatever else. It's not like I'm going for a 3-month trip again. But yeah,
mate, I can barely get you onto a live stream, let alone get you out to India.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 2 videos from September that still need editing and putting up.
And it's the same 2 videos that you told me in December.
Yep. I told you probably in September. Yeah, I've got them. I haven't even taken them off my bloody phone and put them on my computer. That's how bad that is. So if I lose my phone or break it, then I haven't even got the data for it. So I need to probably transfer them across and think about editing them at some stage. But yeah, I've just been busy with, sadly, work and life. But the idea is I'm hopeful with what's coming up towards the end of May. Like I've got a trip over to Ireland. I'm going with the whole family over to the west of Ireland. So I'm going to hit up Galway, which obviously has amazing beer because there's 2 different breweries out there, loads of different beer. I'm going to go towards Sligo,
my home county, or the ancestral home county.
That's my mum's.
Northern Mayo, Sligo.
That's my mum's county, Sligo, and
yeah, we could be related.
Oh god!
Now there's the Daunton prospect.
My brother actually told me something recently. So he was talking with someone at work, and he was talking about going Ireland, and she mentioned something, and he mentioned Sligo. She goes, "Oh, my family's from Sligo area." He goes, "Oh yeah, but my family's not from Sligo. They're from a small town, south of Sligo." And she went, "Oh yeah," and she mentioned the town, and he was like, "That's the same fucking town my family's from." And so he went home and asked my mum, and my mum was like, "Oh yeah, I know that family. Yeah." So it's like, okay, then it's a very small world. But yeah, Sligo is famous for the White Hag Brewery. So I'm hoping to try and pick up some more White Hag beers when I'm there, especially the barrel aged stuff. Galway, pick up some of the Galway beers, but otherwise it's not a massive beer scene. It's just a family trip to meet family and do stuff. But yeah, your trip, then that trip, and then after that, hopefully I can focus on, I'll have some work stuff sorted, have a contract sorted out, and I can focus on work and doing some video stuff because I've got some ideas, and I'll talk over some of the ideas with you as well in person. See if you're up for doing some of them. I think I've talked about 1 or 2 of them before with you. David knows of one idea, but that's still, I've talked about it so many times, David, and it feels like it's not going to happen, sadly. Yeah. David wants to do a trial run with me off camera just because he wants to get pissed.
I mean,
yeah.
Any other reason?
A trial run is needed, but yeah, you just want to do a trial run because getting pissed easy. But yeah, I've got a few ideas, and the idea is if I can get something secured work-wise to the end of the year, then I might be able to take a few days off to film some stuff, and then put it up. And I can find time for editing, but lives, I'm not sure. Steve can be the king of Fridays, Luke.
Not on my schedule, at least. That's another man. Because I've got other stuff with other people coming up as well. So, end of this month, beginning of next, I'm doing a trip in the woods with Sharky. We're actually reviewing a beer that we reviewed 2 years ago. We've kept old of a bottle each.
Nice.
Which is quite hard at £24 a bottle to keep hold of, but we've done it. But then I've got stack loads. I've already got cooking videos edited, done. They're going out in May. This is how planned I am. I've even started now doing videos for the Great British Sandwich Week.
When's that? Don't tell me like September, October.
No, it's end of May. It's like the 20th of the 20th to the 27th of May. And I'm going all around the world. I've got 7 days to do 7 different sandwiches. So I thought I'll use.
Have you seen the guy that I think he creates shorts, but he creates shorts just I hate people that do this. They create shorts just to create controversy and hate. He does like sandwiches of each county, and you turn around and go, my God, what the fuck is that? No one would ever eat it. And it just is a bullshit thing that he does just to get the hate and the clicks, because you're putting in something that's, an area and sandwich. Yeah. But yeah, so you're doing like what? Sandwich of each continent. Antarctica, It's going to be penguin you're eating, clearly.
Oh, I wish.
You've got a layer of penguin between a layer of blubber from the 2 whales, from 2 blubber whales.
So I'm trying to give a bit of influence from different regions of the world, different continents, and it's actually harder than it looks, because you get like amazing flavors, but I want to research what the most popular sandwich is. So the most popular sandwich within Korea, China, look at which is best, and then devise which one to do.
The weird thing is, it's not going to be that dissimilar. I'm going to sound racist at this stage. It sounds so bad, isn't it? But no, I'm assuming a sandwich, the most popular would be along the lines of you're either going to end up with an egg sandwich being very popular or a chicken sandwich, isn't it? But then it all comes down to the spice and the seasoning that changes it. But you don't want to turn around and go, today I'm having a chicken sandwich, and the next day go, today I'm having a chicken sandwich. You want to obviously vary it. So Korea, I think, I could be totally wrong. I think egg sandwiches are quite popular. China depends, because China's massive, isn't it? Like the south all the way to north, there's different tastes, especially because it's different like climates and all the rest that goes with it.
Yeah, have you tried I'm thinking like.
Have you tried a Russian sandwich?
Beg your pardon?
It's a bit
rude. So personal. You never ask a lady a question like that.
You get some day-old bread, you take a bite of it, and you swig some vodka.
I'd be quite good at that one. Disco and Rob did. They did a good live yesterday. Although they called it Time for Tea instead of Mine Tea Time.
Oh,
Disco's little play on. Evening, chaps. Tag teamed myself with Disco for tonight's stream. Mr. B's. Mr. B's going live, or he was live. But yeah, and then I've got June. So I've teamed up with a local company that makes curry sauces.
Oh my god!
And I'm doing British Curry Week.
No! You need to curry sauce off. You need to do a blind taste test of curry sauces. You need to have a shop bought own brand, a branded curry sauce, a chip shop curry sauce, and their curry sauce. And you need to do a curry sauce off. Curry sauce off, mate. There we go.
Yeah. It doesn't quite slip out the tongue as good as well as a jack off. But
yeah, I know. Yeah.
But so I'm kind of, but they've got sauces that go up to like 5 chilies.
Okay.
So they've got some mild. They've got 6 at the minute. Apparently, they're working on a 7th.
I love that the chili rating is much like the star rating when you hit Asia. You know, we all knew the star rating to be 5-star, and then suddenly Dubai goes, "No, this is 7-star." You go, "Oh, okay then." It's the same with the chili rating. You go, "Oh, I had a 4 over there. I can handle that." You go there, you go, well, bloody hell, mate! That's a 7, not a 4. What's going on?
Yeah, this is proper authentic. Like their vindaloo's at a 3. So yeah, that's going to be one ass burner of a week. But you know, it's all content. It's all content.
By the way, Titanic plum porter, or the best of the plum porters in my eyes. I've had some of the other ones like Elgood's and whatever their name in, not Norfolk area, not as good. Don't like it. Plum porter, Titanic, can't beat it. The one that's been, is it the port plum porter that they do? But they add the port in. I know that it's an adjunct entirely, but that's a good one as well.
Awesome, Rob.
Yeah. And yeah, congrats, Rob.
Dunkelbock.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a Dunkelbock?
I won't say anything else. I was thinking something else. But yes. But no. It's coming up to so Germany, in my eyes, is 2 beer seasons. You got your spring season, you got your autumn season. Spring, the first harvest, the first beers, the fresh ones, the lighter ones, isn't it? Then you got the end of the season, your Oktoberfest beers, isn't it? That they bring in. Yeah. The Grand Reserve is amazing. The Grand Reserve with port, I said it's an adjunct, so it's they add port into it. But yeah, I like the Plum Porter Reserve, amazing. It's hard to get Reserve. That's the funny thing. You'd think they would increase production because they sell out of it, but they're limited by it. But they're not also doing the idea where they limit production and increase prices crazy. The price for the Reserve is still like I think a decent price point, and that's the missus got to get it.
Yeah, he's got to let the missus in, otherwise she won't be happy. But yeah, we got tons and tons coming up. Tours, trips. We've both got the same trips and different trips and all that type of stuff. I'm no whiskey drinker at all, and honestly know nothing about them. But your thoughts on beers with whiskey flavorings or BH beers? I think you know my view on the barrel aged stuff, Rob. I love a barrel aged beer. I really do. Barrel aged stouts, amazing. I've even had barrel aged blondes. from Durham Brewery, and they're great. They whiskey flavourings.
It's what are you calling whiskey flavorings? Because the problem with some of the beers in the UK will say they're like, barrel aged in some way or whatever they may say about whiskey infused or whatever. But if you take like Innocent Gun, what they do is they buy an old barrel that is no longer going to be used because it's been, as far as the whiskey industry is concerned, there's no more wood flavor left of it and they don't want it anymore. But what they do is they break it up and then they run the beer over it, in a sense, filter it through. So they filter the beer through it. It's not aged in a barrel, and I feel there should be a name attached to it that gives a different name, because a lot of people will say, oh, that's barrel-aged whiskey beer. It's not. The barrel was aged whiskey, yes, but the beer wasn't put in the barrel. The beer was washed through a barrel. And that's my concern. Like, there's not a distinction between it. So there's places where they will literally put a beer into a whiskey cask. They will leave it in there maybe a day or two. It doesn't need much. That's the thing, because whiskey, the flavouring parts will be quite quick in there. And then they go through, where there'll be other people that just break it up and run through it. I think there needs to be a different name for it. I've got nothing against how the style is done, but it just needs to be sort of labelled. But barrel aging, I mean, it means like it's aged in the barrel in some way. That's the way I look at it. Whereas if someone says it's a whiskey barrel beer, means nothing at all. I know we're looking. I'm sort of answering in terms saying barrel aged means something, but I mean, if you look at what David just said, barrel aged doesn't mean anything at all, because how long is barrel aged?
So the best barrel aged beers I've had have come from Brew York.
Okay.
Brew York's barrel aged beers are spot on. Their whiskey beers are great. The barrel aged rum beers are great. You can kind of tell with when it says barrel aged, you can tell if it's really been aged or passed through, as Liam's just said. Like you can taste it, and there's a different like depth and layers.
Have you
been to it all?
Have you been to their tap room at all, Brew York?
I have a few times. I don't mind Brew York's tap room. But I do think Valhalla is a little bit better.
I was going to say Brew York seems a bit. It's limited in space just because where they are, anyways. But yeah,
is it? Yeah, they're just easily the best barrel aged ones. This side of the pond, anyway.
Steve, so the trip is during Ramadan. Yeah.
Which is perfect for Steve. # Ramadan man.
He'll know the answer at that stage. Yeah. There we go. We end the stream there. There we go.
Yeah. So the Scotland trip begins next Saturday. Liam's coming up on the Thursday. Making his way north on the Thursday, possibly.
Yeah, I need to sort out what's happening. So weirdly for me, I have to be in Bristol. So this is why I didn't book anything. The project I'm working on, I knew there'll be a bit of a delay with some of the things, but the last delay is the business presentation, in a sense, and then it gets given to them, then they need to give feedback, and that's not happening now till next Wednesday. So I need to be in Bristol for that, and then I need to make my way from Bristol to yours. But what I think I'm going to do to make it easier on myself is go to Bristol, come back on the Wednesday itself, and then pack and go on the Thursday, because it means otherwise I've got to carry all my stuff to Bristol and all my stuff up to yours. And it means I've got to go into work with everything. So I'm thinking right now, this is on the fly. Go there, go back, then make my way up. I will catch probably. I've got to finish work. I'm working the Thursday, and then I'll head up. But it might be, as I said to you before the stream, that I stop short of yours, and then get there first thing Friday morning. And then Friday, the travel starts. Not the adventure, the travel starts.
Different type of travel on that Friday, but that's going to come to a video whenever Liam gets around to posting it. I'll even edit it, but it'll take Liam.
I will get back onto it. I'll get back onto it, just like I'm back on the whiskey. Now I'll get back onto some of the editing. I've just, as I said, it's been for me projects, and there's sort of tight deadlines for it, and then the next thing should hopefully be the project I was working on was a proof of concept. It gets agreed, signed off, and then it's a case of here you got 9 months to deliver the rest of it. So it's not as tight as it has been currently. I mean, that doesn't mean not doing the work. It just means I'm not pushing late hours to get things signed off before the next meeting to make sure that the next part gets signed off. No, you go first. Sorry.
I was just going to say, mate, on that note, I reckon 2 hours and 52 minutes is probably enough.
Yes, I agree.
There will be something out on Friday night. What that'll be and look like is yet to be determined.
Depends where I am.
Depends on where Liam is, whether he's in a gutter, pissed in Bristol, or whatever.
No, I've already told you I'll be in Winchester.
Fighting off zombies in Winchester.
No, I'll be in Winchester. It's just I don't know where the hell I'm gonna be exactly. But
he'll be at the Winchester Arms with Simon Pegg.
Yeah, I would love that. Although actually, I need to review the whiskies and beers on display in the background, because the idea is if they had a terrible whiskey selection, would you really want to hold up there? I mean, there's some good whiskey bars you could go to, and you could turn around and go, let's crack out the good stuff. Obviously, zombie apocalypse, what do you do first? You drink through all your ale, then you drink through all your lagers and ciders, then you go all your bottled beers, and then you hit the spirits, don't you? Because you got to think about the shelf life of stuff, haven't you?
Luckily for me, being a larger-than-life character and having all this extra weight, they can't actually get to my bloodstream so quick. So I'm kind of fine after a few bites. But on that note, love you, leave yous all. Thank you all very much for joining. 7 of you still in. We got up to 16 at one point, so thank you all very much. And we'll be back on Friday. If not, next Friday, there will be a live stream.
Yeah.
It will be messy, probably. And then a live stream every night until the following Saturday. So, take care, and we'll see you on the next one.
Get your livers ready.
Cheers.